Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Joe. Welcome back to SNES's Life. This is recap 137, covering the last 5 games up here. Let's just kick this off. Marvel War of the Gems is a beat 'em up that I'd never heard of, honestly, and visually the game looked really, really good. The music was okay. The controls had a lot of problems. So it felt very, very. This had a lot of problems going for it. One, the controls felt very, very stiff. The gameplay functioned very similar to like I think it was like the original, like Ninja Turtles on the NES. So you picked a different hero to go to a level. If that hero died, it sent you back to the start screen to pick another hero, and that hero was dead. They weren't coming back until you found like finished the level and got the power up to bring him back to life with health. If you finished a level with half health or a quarter health, you kept that health until you again found power ups later to give yourself health. But you could only use those power ups between the levels. Uh, One of the first like 3 or 4 levels that you can access, because you kind of pick a couple different places to go first. The entire thing is underwater. So you start the very first level I played was, hey, guess what? You're underwater. You have oxygen. You have to get through the enemies to the next section before you run out of air. And it's just like, really, like that's your first level that I'm on. Like, what the hell? So visually, it looked great. The powers felt correct and fun, but the difficulty and the stiff control was a little off the charts for me. There are better Marvel beat 'em ups on the system for sure. Play those. This one, cool looking. They really got the look on it. I like the look, but just it's way too hard. Next up, NHL 90. What are we on? 97. NHL 97 was totally fine. I played NHL 96 for about 20 minutes before I streamed this just to get a feel for any improvement. I did think that graphically there was a slight improvement. The crowd looked a little better. The ice texture looked a little better. I thought the sprites were a little bit uh, thinner, like not quite as chonky. Gameplay wise, it moved fairly well. I think I did get in one fight during it, which, if a hockey game doesn't have fighting, is it really a hockey game? Music was okay, like what little bits there were here and there. It was a totally passable game. I gave it a thumbs up, giving the edge to it over NHL 96, basically. Like, the NHL games felt progressively slightly better as they went on. So, 97 gave a thumbs up. If you're going to play a hockey game, 97's fine. I think if you. I think, and this could really be said for any sports game of ever. Uh, Pick the one that has the rosters you want. Like, if you're a big sports fan, and the 94 roster was the good one, then play 94. You'll be happier there. But 96 was a fine game. Next up, Donald Duck in Maui Mallard. This was an interesting one. So, action platformer, you're Donald Duck. You are basically like a Magnum PI. So, you're like a private investigator with a gun. And the gun shoots different kinds of bugs, which is weird. But whatever. You eventually, like level 2, you go through like ninja training and you learn how to turn yourself into a ninja. And then you have like a bow staff instead of a gun, and you use the bow staff like wedge it between walls and like climb them. And the music was good. Visually, everything looked sharp and nice. The controls were okay. The biggest downside to this entire game was the camera control. It was one of those games where it tries to keep you on like the side of the screen, so every time you turned, the screen wanted to shift. And so if you're turning to try to control your jump, which in this game you spend a lot of time in the air, it really hampered progression. Like, that camera is really annoying. But the game looked, sounded, and played very well. It just that camera, man. So I did recommend this one. I think this is one of those Disney ones that you can throw on the pot. Most of the stuff with Mickey in it's good. Donald Duck's a good ad. Next up, NBA Hangtime. This is legitimately NBA Jam clone. So it made by was it Williams did it? Is that right? I can't remember now. So the same company, but apparently like all the different people, I guess. So the original announcer's gone. The team rosters are a little updated, but visually speaking, it's NBA Jam. Looks like NBA Jam, plays like NBA Jam, does exactly what you expect NBA Jam to do. So fun arcade basketball game. I'm using the cheat here to turn us into the jungle court. There's a couple jungle courts. There's a bunch of characters you can turn into, different names and things. But I didn't recognize the names of any of them, so I didn't even bother with those. I don't, I don't know what to say other than it's arcadey basketball. It's a thumbs up. The announcer's not nearly as good as the original guy. Like it's going from like he's on fire to he's on fire, and you're just like, not quite the gusto that we're wanting. But all right. Last up was Disney's Pinocchio. So I've played a lot of Disney games at this stage. I'd be curious actually to see how many there were on the Super Nintendo, like to do those numbers, because at least in North America, like I've played a lot of them, and I know I've got a couple. I've played some imports too, not on stream or anything, that were really good. But Pinocchio was very basic, for lack of a better term. Like it visually and audibly like looked and sounded great. Most of the Disney games looked really sharp, and Pinocchio's no different. Great animations and everything else. The story follows the movie Pinocchio, which I didn't really remember. There are a couple levels in here that'll would give a kid a run for his money, but I think it's a great game for kids. It's not insanely difficult. It is very linear, honestly. Like I said, there's some memorization. Like there's some parts where I'm like, you don't get through this level without dying a couple times and starting to memorize what you're supposed to do. It's only a couple times. So I beat the game in like 45 minutes. I was using save states, so there's that. But there's nothing wrong with it. I gave it a thumbs up just on the concept that like it's not a bad game. I wouldn't buy it, and I wouldn't be like, you should go buy this game. But if someone was like, hey, I picked up this Pinocchio game, is it okay? I'd be like, yeah, go ahead and play it, man. Like, it's 40 minutes. It's not that bad. So I gave it a thumbs up. It's not one I would add to my personal collection, but it's a decent enough game. So 4 thumbs up. It's been a hot minute since we've had 4 thumbs up. That's always nice. But that's it. Appreciate everybody sticking with us all this damn time. So long. It feels like, where are we at? I can look this up. How many games do we have left to cover? We have 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20. I think we have 22 games left at this stage to play for the North American list. So we are super close to being done with this. But that's it. Appreciate everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you all later. Adios.